Hey guys, welcome back to the Quick Speed Shop. I'm Josh. I'm standing here with my 1980 Dodge W200, and we're about to fire it up and pull it in the shop under the original trim for the last time. If you've been following along, I've been restoring this truck. I've got a donor chassis, donor motor, donor pretty much everything, but now it's time to bring this truck in, disassemble it. In this video, I'm going to pull it inside. I'm going to take the front clip off. I want to get the motor, training, and transfer case out of it, and then I can roll it back outside, and I can take all the parts I need here, put the rolling chassis of the new chassis together, and then we're going to put the new cab on the new chassis. Then I'll disassemble the rest of this and transfer all the wiring and the interior and all that over. But for today, I'm just going to get this fired up and pulled in and start taking it apart. So it's warmed up. It was like 10 degrees out for the last few days. Now suddenly it's like 55 degrees. It's like springtime and winter. Weather's crazy, but this thing should fire up, and it's going to fit in the garage, but we do have to take the gumball light off because that won't fit. So let me climb on in and we'll fire this sucker up. Man, here we go. This thing should fire right up. Let's turn on the fuel pump. Oh yeah. There we go, some fuel in it. Oh yeah. Immediately. Now this is a 364 barrel. I mean, it's got the thermoquad on there, but it's tired. It's only got 54,000 miles on it, but this is a plow truck, so a lot of back and forth. And man, that fuel pump is loud, and it's got a rod knock, so that's why this engine's coming out. But I got her fired up. Are we in 4? The yard's awful nasty out. Remember if it's in 4-wheel drive, I can't see. It's in 2 because the light's not lit up. Oh, I'm gonna have to put her in 4 high because it will absolutely tear the yard up right now. And there's a bunch of junk in the way. It's in 2 high. There we go. That's 4-wheel drive. Oh yeah, there we go. Come on, baby, you got it. Oh, oh. Still tearing the yard up. Dang it. I missed my window of opportunity to do this when the ground is frozen. It melted on me. Turn it around here on the stones. Oh. Okay, now put it back in 2-wheel drive. There we go. This is obnoxious trying to shift this thing with all this crap in the... Oh, and I stall it. Uh-oh. Fuel hose might have come out of the gas can level of fuel. Hold on. Actually, I almost forgot to take that gumball light off. It's right up here. It's a wire here. Looks like a butt connector and a couple of 7/16. Let me get the gumball light off the roof real fast and we'll pull up on in. Bam, made it. Yeah, this is a tight fit in here. Yikes. Well, anyways, there we go. Got the Dodge in here. I'm going to unhook the fuel. I think we'll start with the front. Strip off the bumper, the plow frame, unhook the hoses, the grill, hood, fenders, whole front clip off. Then I can get the motor and training transfer case out of it. I also need, I brought this front axle, you might not be able to see it, down here in out of the other truck. I need to switch front axles so I can roll this thing back out of here. So I'll pull the front axle out as well, shift that out, roll this front axle under it, and then I'll leave the cab intact with the interior and the wiring harness for now. Like I said, I'll roll this thing outside, and then I'll bring the chassis in and put the drivetrain together, and then switch everything over at a later date from the rest of this. So that's my plan. I'm sticking to it. Bam, it's the next night. Oh, Tony, where'd you come from? Tony stopped over. So I blew the fenders off and stuff. I didn't time lapse it all because it was, you know, multiple time lapse. Watch this. Okay, here we go. Ready? Ah, there goes the core support. And you Dodge guys probably realize this, but being an 80, this has the 79 80 core support where you could have the stacked headlights in it or the single headlights. And it actually has the inboard mount, body mounts here that mount onto the cross member, which the original body mounts are out here. The 79 was mounted out here. I don't know why they switched to inboard. I don't know what the deal was with that. And you also see on the 80, the steering box is mounted the right way up with the drag link going off like that off the bottom. And if I go out here real fast to the other frame, the 75 is side steer, but the box is laid up on an angle 90 degrees to the frame, and it steers out that way. So I'm going to be running the 75 steering in the 80 truck. You can see the body mount here and the other body mount here. I don't know why they changed them. They just did. But this thing is tore down. I took the wiring harness apart, I labeled all that, took that off, and oh, here goes a big Dodge. Hold on a second. Oh, he's bringing more firewood to the corner. That's where all that wood's coming from, is that guy. So that was pretty nasty. The radiator, as you can see, fell apart. That was just 2-row and it's junk. But the now I can get the transfer case off and get the engine transmission pulled out of there. Look at that! Thermoquad right there. Best carburetor in the world. It punishes you for trying to go fast. But as soon as this comes apart, then I can roll it back outside and get the other thing going. I also off camera straightened this driver's side door out. It was super wadded. I might be able to snip in a picture of it. But it was like folded way back into here. My buddy hit a tree with it and screwed it all up. I twisted it back out so it's kind of in shape. I was going to replace this door, but I want to run the original doors and as much original sheet metal on the truck as possible. So I untwisted that till it's not completely horrendous, and I'll run it like that. But it is coming apart, and then we'll be able to, next thing is after I get the engine out, unbolt this front axle, swap it out for this front axle so I can still roll the chassis around, and then we can start putting all this together on the new frame. Tony left a little while ago there. I got the core support. We took the core support off. I've been futzing with it, doing a lot of stuff that wasn't really exciting. One of the things was, look at this, the seat's out because look at this. This is terrible. This had some tin riveted into the floor here, like over there you can see the remnants of like some galvanized tin, but it was rotting away. Actually under the rubber floor mat, the like jute matting that's on the floor mat was all wet when I took it up there, so the thing's been leaking and just rotting the floor. But the reason I took it all apart like this, oh, by the way, if you see this gas tank in the back, the in-cab tank, my friend Marty, I got this truck from, he put this tank in because, believe it or not, oh, hold on a second. I've been using this headlamp that I bought 2 of them at Tractor Supply Company for like 14 bucks on sale. Freaking awesome for working on another truck. Check this thing out. Here, I'll show you. It's got red on the back. It can strobe. They're rechargeable. So I've been using it working on the truck. It's working out good. But anyways, this tank here, turn the light on. He was plowing snow with this truck, and the stock tank, the stock saddle tank fell out of the truck and literally was on fire under the truck, and he didn't realize it. And some dude drove by and flagged him down like, yo, your truck's on fire. And they had to like put it out with snow and beat it out. So he put this tank in the cab. It's out of a like a Ford truck. But the earlier Dodges, they had tanks in, ouch, that was sharp. The earlier trucks, they had tanks in the cabs. You can see the mounts back here where it would have had a fuel tank in the cab. But by 1980, they were done with that. So anyways, it's got a Ford tank in it with undisclosed amount of gas. I'm not sure, probably a splash. But the reason I did this, let's get back on track, is I want to, the 2-wheel drive cab I have doesn't have this big hump for the 4-wheel drive. And I think it's going to be easier to get the unbolt things. I need this anyways to weld into the other cab. Or actually I might make it so it's removable so you can bolt it in and out. But you can see the rot was getting up the side of it pretty good there. I'll have to fix that. But I want to get this cut out of here right now, and then I can get to some bolts on the transfer case a lot easier instead of laying under the truck. So I've already taken the shifter out for that. The standard shifter is still in the transmission. But I'm going to get out my air chisel. I'm going to and saw around this with the air chisel. It should cut through this floor pretty good. I don't think there's any braces in here. Just saw this whole piece out, and Kirk pulled out of here, and then I can get my get to the bolts on a transfer case on top real easy, and then it's only a couple more bolts and then be able to yank the whole drivetrain right out of this thing. But I've already disconnected the clutch. There's other things. I've got to gut this whole interior out of this truck. Oh my goodness, that shook half the truck apart by doing that. Well, that was exciting, but now as you can see, I've got plenty of access to get to the transfer case. Oh, there's two there was 2 bolts on top of the transfer case. That would have been super hard to get to. So I hope I cut that big enough. I can flange it. I actually want to make this removable for the future to make it way easier. And the earlier trucks, they were removable because I'm pretty sure that I removed the one out of the 75, but it was rotted pretty bad. So anyways, I'll probably have to fab up something to make it removable with clips or screws or inserts or something like that. But I separated it at the firewall seam with the air chisel, then saw it around, you know, floor to floor. But that's the 4-speed, the new process 435, aluminum bell housing for the 360, and then the new process aluminum 208 transfer case there. Yeah, that's about it. And the best thing about the air chisel, no fire with sparks and stuff with the fuel tank here in the back. And I've got all the coolant drained out. The drive shafts are pulled out. Oops, I got to unhook the heater hoses, get them unhooked. But the wiring, I've removed the wiring right from the truck from the firewall, so all the front wiring is removed. I just need to get to the 2 nuts here on the motor mounts, unbolt those, and then the 2 bolts in the back on the transmission mount, and it should come right out of here. So, oh, my light's still on. Hold on a second. So I'll keep futzing to this tonight, but it's getting kind of late. I gotta go in for dinner, and probably have to finish up tomorrow. Okay, well, it's late into the next day. Got distracted with a bunch of other stuff, and I've been wrenching away here. I've got the engine ready to come out, and I'm leaving the transmission in the truck for now. I've unbolted it's got a new process 435, and it's cast iron transmission, and I wasn't sure how it was going to balance out. So I unbolted the bell housing bolts to the transmission back in there, which you can't see, but I've got the transmission just popped free, and I'm trying to, whoa, here we go, trying to bring the engine out, and it's the input shaft's in the transmission. I'm just gonna try to walk the engine off the transmission, whoop, just like that. What we got? Oh yeah, we're coming off there, and I can take the engine out. It's probably coming out of the clutch right now. What are we hitting on? Ah, crap. Might have to jack the transmission up. Oh, hold on a minute. Actually, I'm out of the clutch, so I can pick the engine up. I'm hitting the oil pan on the crossmember. I believe I'm out of the clutch. It's, just about. I got a floor jack under the front of the transmission. I can jack that up a little bit to help with the angle. It helped a little bit. The transmission's actually not okay. A lot of clanging and banging going on here. Okay, I got the transmission down. I'm just doing this just to make it easier for myself. This would be a pain to try to do in the real world. You'd never get the clutch lined up, but for what I'm doing, it's okay. I'm pretty much almost free of the transmission, but now I'm hung up on the cross member. I think I can go up. So it should be. Yeah, I'm free of the power steering lines and everything's puking. I'm free of the transmission. I got exhaust fighting me. There we go. Use my dongler to dongle it. Nope. Whoops, I didn't. The vacuum booster's still hooked to the intake manifold. Missed that. Let me dongle this out a little bit level. Got these factory style like clamps that are just pieces of spring wire, and they're a pain to get apart because I don't want to. Maybe I'm getting it. Go, there we go. And all the lines are super old and rigid. Don't want to come off once you get the clamps off. This one might go. Aha, there we go. Now, that should be, there's the throttle cable. That should be it. Exhaust is hitting the frame over here, but I can steer it. There we go. Here we go, here we go. Go up. Okay. That's free like a bird. Whoa! There we go. Easy now. You get a picture for the internet. I'm going to set this engine down on a cart. Got my 4-speed bell housing, not tore up too bad. It actually only bolts to that big transmission, only 4 bolts. I was surprised by that. And they're way up to the top, but it just cantilevers there. So I got to set that down. Got to wrestle a transmission transfer case out from underneath it. And then pretty much the truck will be ready to go outside. Oh wait, I still got to take the front axle out. I got to swap front axles. This is the one I'm putting back in the truck. And I've got the 75 axle out of the donor chassis. I got to do the U-bolts and swap front axles here. And I can roll this outside. Well, ain't this a thing? First of all, there's a mouse nest in the bell housing. Secondly, I've just determined by reading on the interwebs that this is an 11-inch clutch on the back of this LA360 with the 4-speed new process 435. And you can't just take the bell housing off the back of the transmission because the ring gear is too big. It's got 11-inch ring gear. And you need to unbolt the clutch and the flywheel and drop it out the bottom of the bell housing so you can get the back of the, what do you call it, off? Well, ain't that a fine how do you do? Because I've been struggling with this thing, and I can't imagine trying to do this in the truck. I know my friend Marty did. He put this clutch in here several years ago, but it's got 0 miles on it. But what a pain in the neck this is. So I've got to bolt this sucker, put a couple bolts in just to hold it. I guess get through the hole, or down here, take the bolts out of the clutch, drop the clutch out of the way, and then I can get to the flywheel bolts through here, through the hole with the impact driver, and run them off, drop the flywheel down, then this will come off. Why did Dodge do that? Well, they couldn't make a bell housing big enough to clear the flywheel? What a nightmare. It's what seems like day 817 of this engine removal from the truck here. Last steps, I got the transfer case drained out of here, and I got it separated from the new process 435, which is still bolted up here. And I'm just going to wiggle this guy off onto the floor jack, hopefully. That'll be whoa, just like that. This is a 208. It's aluminum, so it's lighter than like the 203 cast iron transfer case you got in the earlier trucks. Now if we can just dance this over here out of the jack so it balances up. Nope. Oh, there goes the oil. Great. And of course I can't reach the jack to set it down. Good planning on my part. Well, let a little bit of oil drain out of this for a second. But if I could reach that arm, I could hit the down button without dropping this out. Oh crap, it's way over there. All right, hold on a second. I might just have to take this off over my head like this. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Yep. Okay, don't drop it on your face. Use the jack over here. Oh, kind of like that. Perfect. No problem. All right, let that leak all over the floor, I guess. That'd be the good thing to do. Did I damage it? Nope. Okay, you stay there. Nice. All right, oh, there's a dowel pin up there. Look at that. All right, so last step, new process 435 here. Ugh, a little bit sludgy goo. There's just 2 bolts through the transmission mount. I'm going to leave that bolted right to the crossmember. I'm going to zap 2 bolts out of the tranny. I've already got it mounted or sitting on a floor jack with a plate, so hopefully it won't fall off of that. I might run a strap around it because this sucker is going to be real heavy. I left the shifter on since I cut the big hole in the floor. And there's no engine. I should be able to just move it ahead and drop the whole thing out with the shifter on it, I'm going to guess. And that'll give me something to hang on to. But this is going to be a lot easier to put this in the truck. When I put the chassis together, I'm going to assemble the whole drivetrain in the chassis before I put the cab on. It'll be way easier because all this stuff is mad heavy. And yeah. So let's move this out of the way. Let's try to get this transmission out of here, I guess. Oh, all right. This gun will take anything apart. Woo! Whoa. Easy. I don't want to lose the transmission. Let's see. That should be balanced on that freaking jack. Shouldn't want to go nowhere, but I'm a little nervous. Where did our nut go? Gone forever. Well, I don't understand. It was literally right here 2 seconds ago. Literally. Are you kidding me? Where did it go? Gone forever. Son of a gun. I just don't want the transmission flopping. I shouldn't go anywhere, but where on earth did that other nut go? Gone. Gone forever. Are you serious? How could it be gone forever? That doesn't make any sense. You know what? We're going to go with it. All right, there we go. Oh, they're both in the socket. That's why it's gone forever. Well, anyways, there we go. That is definitely off of there. So I'm going to jack it up, and I'm going to see if I can scoot it. This might bone me, but I think I can scoot it enough to get it out of there. Oh yeah, no problem. Now I think I've just pulled this jack. Oop, like that, a little bit. Oh, boning myself with that plate. Whoa, easy now. Easy. Man, if that plate was off there, this would work. But it is hard to get to the bolts, especially now that I've committed myself. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Number one. Get out of there. Almost there. Here we go. There we go. What? We're crying in the sink. Yes. 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 There we go. Boom. Whew. Man, what a struggle. Well, it looks like I gotta take the shifter off anyways because I'm not gonna be able to get that out from under the truck with the shifter on it. Nope. Oh, maybe? Nah. Oh. Man, this guy ain't... Oh, yikes. There we go. Perfect. This guy ain't no lightweight, I'll tell you that. Holy moly. So the last big hurdle is I've got the old front axle. This is the 410 axle out of the donor chassis. And oh, look, I ripped the front end out of the truck because I need that to go under the new frame. So I'm going to take this old temporary front axle and stick it back under the truck here. It was a nightmare to get it out, but this axle is actually in nice shape. It had a lot of grease on it, so it's not hardly rusty at all. And yeah, it's going to bolt right back under there. And then as soon as I get that bolted back together, I can push this outside, and later on I'll be taking parts off the cab and the doors and all the stuff on the firewall, the interior, all that's got to switch over to the new donor cab. But I got to get the donor cab painted first and put on the chassis. So this will be outside for a little bit, just in hang out mode until we get to that. So that's it. A long one there on this one, but I spent probably 3 days working on this stupid thing, getting it all apart, and a lot of things are real tough. Everything's heavy and rusty, but I got it blown apart. So I'm going to stick it back together, push it outside, and then we'll soldier on from there. But I appreciate everybody watching. Stay tuned for more Dodge action. I'm not sure what's going on next, but something with this, and you'll see it all, bam, right here at the Quick Speed Shop. I'm a professional. Don't try this at home.